This is the one. This is the one, guys. Look at Merab, how exposed he is. And it barely misses. God! I take blame for this. I should have telling Sean to roll right now. Cory Sandhagen's coach says they want to wrestle Merab. Again, I just don't know if that's the best answer. Okay, boys and girls, welcome back to Uncle Red's channel. Let's get that posture up. Let's get serious. Today's video, we're going to be talking about UFC 320, the bantamweights. The bantamweight champion, Merab Dvalishvili, is taking on Cory Sandhagen. All right, fellas, this video is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's so simple. Go to the App Store, download Prize Picks, pick more or less than your favorite players in the NFL, UFC, boxing for a chance to win 100 times your money. It's available in states like Texas, California, and 30 more, plus Canada. It's a great time to play because if you use code TIMBO when you sign up, Prize Picks will give you $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. UFC 320 is this weekend. Make sure you keep an eye out for my official predictions on Snapchat or Instagram at TimWelchMT. Now, Merab, 34 years old, in his absolute prime, on the craziest bantamweight win streak there's ever been. It really is. Jose Aldo, Peter Yan, Cejudo, Sean, Umar, Sean. Crazy win streak. The guy's 5'6", 20 wins, 4 losses, taking on Cory Sandhagen, one of the most well-rounded guys in the division. The guy's obsessed with the sport. He's got good offensive wrestling. He's got good defensive wrestling. He has great jiu-jitsu. He understands jiu-jitsu, and he's got some of the trickiest stand-up in the game. He switches his stances, he boxes, he kicks, he knees, he does it all, and he mixes it all together very well. Now, he hired Trevor Whitman to be his head coach for this fight camp, and I'm really curious what their game plan is. Actually, I was watching the countdown, and then my editor sent me this tweet where Cory Sandhagen's coach says they want to wrestle Merab. I don't think a lot of guys do it against Merab. They go out there and they're just, hey, don't get taken down, and then when they get taken down, they're on to plan B. I don't want Cory to think that way. Can we sweep him? Can we take him down? That mindset is what it takes to be a champion. I mean, on paper, it sounds good. On paper, that sounds good. But you have to remember how many times Merab shot a takedown against Peter Yan. So Merab attempted 49 takedowns versus Peter Yan. So, okay, you want to wrestle this guy who has an unlimited gas tank, who's going to wrestle all day, who wants to get into these scrambles, who wants to do things that are tiring, and you're going to go wrestle this guy. Could be genius. Chances are, I don't know if it is. For Cory to be initiating takedowns, they're going to be so happy if he starts initiating takedowns. And I do believe there's a good chance Cory stuffs a handful of his shots. He might stuff 15 of his shots, but now he's going to have to stuff the next 35 shots. I mean, it's easier said than done when this guy has a pace like he does. Cory Sandhagen, his last fight against Davison Figueiredo, beat Rob Font, beat Chito Vera, beat Song Yadong, knocked out Frankie Edgar. He earned it. Lost a decision to Umar. Let's take a peek back here when the Sugar Show took on Merab for the second time and see if anything sticks out to us. Here we go, round one. Ding. Nice low stance by the Sugar Show. Tall, lanky, low stance, putting some pressure on him, backing him up. It's hard for people to set up good shots when they're backing up. So automatically we're backing up. And you see Merab, he's got this like jittery, robotic pace. It's not like a smooth, athletic pace. That spin kick there, I prefer those spin kicks to go straight in a straight line. So you turn and all the momentum goes straight back into the guy. You're almost jumping back into the guy instead of spinning a full 360. Easier said than done. Whips the body kick. We miss the body kick. Back to it again. Sugar Show's got some of the most slick feints. As soon as you're not respecting those feints, he's gonna bust you in the lips. Merab starts putting on the pressure. And he's like, he like loads up. He's really springing his stance. He chews that mouth guard. So it kind of throws you off a little bit. So we're going good footwork here, keeping the fight at our range. Merab's got a nice patient pressure going. He knows Sean cracks hard. He felt it in the Sphere fight. He knows he can crack. So Merab brings those hands above those eyebrows. You know he's thinking about shooting. Nice little fast left hand right to the lips there. Let me take a peek at that one. Dink. Popped him. Nice long teep. Nice long jab. Right hand into a left. Merab floats out of the way. Good stance. He's kind of lifting that leg up. Hands are coming above the eyebrows. And Shug's got some beautiful footwork going on. Left, right, very, very explosive. You make one mistake against Shug. You overpunch once against him. One mistake, and there's a good chance you're sleeping. Again, you can tell Merab's trying to shoot. And it's hard to shoot. Shug's staying about 4 feet away, staying right at his range, where he can punch Merab, and Merab can't punch him. That's just the perfect range for us. Really loading up on those shots. Juking on him, dancing. 250. Nice right hand. He blocks those punches weird, I tell you what. Steps into a nice left hand again. Good balance here. Keeping the balance good. That was sweet. Sweet. Switch stance, right hand. Floating back. Trying to move a little bit before we get to the fence. Not waiting to get to the fence and then move. This is where we slipped here. This is where we got caught up a little bit in the cage. So his foot almost got caught in the cage right there. And Merab's sprinting at him, and he tripped up a little bit. This was the first time in 3 weeks in the locker room. It was the first time in about 3 weeks that we took the wrestling shoes off. We had wrestling shoes on for the whole fight camp. That little video that got leaked or whatever of him on his crutches, it was real. Okay, it was real. So we were training with wrestling shoes, and with wrestling shoes, you're grippy. They're very grippy. So they're grippy. They give you a little bit more support. You can move around. I really wanted Sean to take the wrestling shoes off in the warm-up area so he could kind of feel his feet on the ground. I was a little worried about that, slipping and stuff when you're used to having those wrestling shoes. So that was a mistake there. We kind of slipped, lost balance a little close to the cage, and Merab gets around the body. Gets around the body, above the hips already, ends up in his favorite spot, half guard. One of his favorite spots. Okay, Shug builds up. He's got an elbow inside here. Now he's got that right elbow inside. If we keep that right elbow inside there, we're going to be able to split the grip. But also, these knees on the thigh, they add up. They may not hurt initially, but later on in the fight, they add up. So you don't want to take a bunch of those knees. You feel those knees, and maybe at the moment they don't hurt, but then later in the round, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, you're like, why don't I have the same spring and explosive I usually do? It's because these little fucking knees hurt. Okay, so he's got a body lock. Real strong body lock there. Sean does a good job. Over-unders, keeps his balance. Good over-unders. Merab's doing a good job at keeping his head position. And he gets off. Oh my God. A lot of the times when Merab gets off like this, he'll get off, he'll break away, he'll punch again, and he'll reshoot right away. So Sean was looking to take his head off. So look at, Merab does a good tell. His hands come above his eyebrows a lot of times, and then he'll shoot deep. So his hands come above his eyebrows. Look at this timing on Shug. Shug goes to kill him, but Merab doesn't shoot. Damn it. If he would have shot into that, that's the end. So he really throws it with full power to try to kill him, and slips, back up to the feet. He recovers from that one. Damn it, if he would have reshot. Merab back on some patient pressure, shoots a double leg. Let's see what kind of Merab saw where he shoots this double leg here. Right after a feint. So right after the feint, Merab changes levels and shoots. And remember, when he changes levels like this, you don't know if a big right hand's coming, or you don't know if he's shooting and penetrating into a shot. So he penetrates into a double leg, goes to the double leg purposely, not to the single leg. Sean does a good job getting the underhook, but Merab's hands are locked. Sean does a good job here, a good whizzer. And Merab steps in front. This is what Habib used to do. He used to go single leg, not really run the pipe, not really hike it to the armpit. He steps his hip in the middle. He steps his hip in the middle to where Merab, look at Merab's hip. Merab's hip's almost all the way to the cage. Scoops up that bottom leg. Pulls him out, gathers his legs. Controlling the wrist, no damage done here. Starts to throw some dingers on the ground. And now we go full guard. Full guard, wrist control. and this is Merab's spot, especially in the full guard. Look at how high Merab's keeping his head. He's going to punch, damage, and then back to the position. He keeps his head up there by Sean's head. You need to get your hands inside here. So it makes it hard to get your feet on him or get knee shields, or he doesn't give you a lot of space. And when he does give you space, he's dropping some bombs. He's very good at ground and pound. So now he's looking to pass the guard and advance a little bit here. On top, half guard, knee shield. So now he's going front headlocks. He's going front headlock this time. And usually on the front headlock, he just grabs the front headlock and he starts to crank it. He starts to crank the front headlock. In the first fight, he just had arm in. There was a chance for Sean to pass. But here he's going high elbow. This was a new thing that Merab hasn't done in the past. He goes high elbow. Look at his right hand. His right hand is deep on the neck. Sean switches ears, perfect. His right ear on him, switches ears, comes right up and defends that guillotine perfectly. So that's round one in the book. Pretty high-paced round. Lost our balance. Lost our balance when we gave up that first takedown. Here we go. Round two. Suga coming out with the pressure. Putting him on his back foot. Putting him on his back foot here. Ready to float back. Ready to come forward on the balls of his feet. Marching forward. Another spin kick. That's where these spin kicks again. If we can throw those spin kicks, more like if you can do, someone who did great spin kicks is Kung Lee. Especially when you're spinning the body, not doing a full 360, spinning straight in and having all the momentum go straight in like this instead of spinning. But we're working on that. Merab with his eyes, he chews on his mouthpiece, looks down with his eyes. Hands are kind of going crazy. Left inside kick. Here we go. Ooh, another nice body shot. Another nice body shot. Didn't get out of there quite in time. So after the body shot, this is what they were doing. After the body shot, they'd sprint at him and attack. Fake the uppercut. Right hand. Oof. Nice one too there. Fake the knee. Ooh. Fake the knee. Step back. 1-2 down the pipe. Not quite on the money, right below his ear right here. Still a heavy shot. Look at that right hand. Bing. And it's tricky. You can't let Merab's shots really freeze you up. But again, it's hard to really commit to punches when you're worried about this guy changing levels and shooting underneath. Nice teep. Teep in the guts. We had success to that in the first fight. Teep in the guts in the fifth. Had him holding his guts. Here he goes. Changing levels again, putting the pressure on. Hands coming high. Another good right hand to the gut. Confusing him. There's a big right hand, big left hook. Look how wild these shots are, but they're heavy. He's throwing his whole body into them. Sprinting forward. Right hand, left hook, right hand, into the double leg. So, I mean, there's spots to counter him there, but he's coming forward so hard. I know Sean's seeing these, but he's coming forward so hard. And look at his hands. His whole body's set up like he's going to shoot a double leg. Both his hands are by his hips. His levels are changed. You don't always throw him, and still he'll throw punches off this. Boom. Whips a big right hand. Sean beats him to an underhook. Beats him to underhook. Forces it to a single. Limp legs out. Beautiful defense. Beautiful defense. Merab putting on the pressure. 150 left. Round two. He's back to pressuring. Whips a two to the gut. Okay, throws right hand. Merab gets a body lock, almost like a head and arm pinch here. Sean makes space, defends it. Very good. Floating in, floating out, switches his stance, puts a left on the beak. Merab back on the pressure. Good right hand there by Merab. Lands a nice right hand. Sean warped just fine. Hands are coming high. Hands are coming high above his brows. 110. You know they're calling to score a takedown. So he's changing levels. Boom, another right body shot. Again, after the body shot, that's when he started sprinting at him. Throws the body shot, starts sprinting at him. We get our feet squared up a little bit. Boom. So Merab shoots in a good deep shot double leg. But look at Sean's reaction time. Gets a whizzer, circles, jacks him up, gets over-unders, gets his level low here. And Merab's strong in this position. When he clasps his hands, he's a very strong dude. Lets goes, tries to punch into a reshot. Now we go single. Look at this defense. We go single. He runs the pipe, tries to put him to his butt, tries to go up to the double. Look at this wrist control. Left hand wrist control. Cuts the right arm back again. Merab reshoots into the high crotch, and Sean defends it. Boom. Misses the right hand there. Such a sick little sequence. Boom. Again, these shots are barely buzzing over his shoulder. Like that one kind of hits his shoulder. Defends those shots perfectly though, especially with the machine in deep. 30 seconds left. We got Suga putting on the pressure. 10 seconds left. Now he's sprinting at him, a little hectic, getting a little crazy, but that's how he is. He's a crazy guy like that. Round 2 in the books. Some great defense. Some absolutely great defense. Here we go, round 3. Round 3. Comes out, same energy. Almost higher energy than he had in the first round. Sean comes out. Southpaw stance. This is one of his favorite takedowns here. Right hand kind of knee pick. Right hand knee pick, just like this. So he's throwing the right hand, and he's also penetrating to his legs. This is where Cory Sandhagen does, if he has good timing, he's going to be able, he can knee. Look how exposed his liver is. He hangs his head way over to the side, so it's hard to counterpunch his head, but his liver is exposed. But again, he's good at watching your feet. Watching your feet when you're in balance to shoot a knee up the middle, or when you're not in balance, when you're not ready for that. So he goes high crotch. Oof. This is the one. This is the one, guys. I fucking barely missed. Watch Sean. Watch how close this is. Sean bounces off the fence. Full momentum. Full momentum. Bounces off. Look at Merab, how exposed he is. And it barely misses. God! Literally misses by a centimeter. That left hand was a rocket. Especially at the momentum of the fence. Look at Sean's hips are turned over. Boom, that was a rocket that might have flatlined him if it lined up on the chin. Barely missed. God, watch it again. Gets the defense, uses the momentum, bounce, whoop. Defends the takedown, backs up. God! Now he shoots in a good double. Sean's kind of backing up. You can tell he wasn't really set up for a knee. And again, out of nowhere, he just changes levels and he penetrates pretty hard. He penetrates pretty hard. He's open for he definitely is open for a knee. And on film, it looks like, okay, he's open for a knee, but he's good at timing it when your feet aren't ready and set up for the knee. Locks his hands, double leg, puts him down. Now we're in full guard. Full guard. And this is hard. It's easier said than done. Get the feet on the hips. Get some knee shield. Start making some space. But as soon as you get the feet on the hips, knee shield gives Merab space to drop some heavy heaters. Then look at how good he is at keeping his hips so in tight. And his knees really in. Look how thick his legs are. He's really strong in the full guard position. These good wrestlers, they're not afraid of the full guard. Especially stocky ones with really no neck. I remember at Team Quest when I trained with those guys, Chael Sonnen and Matt Lindland, all those guys, they weren't big on passing the guard. You start passing the guard, you give that bottom guy an opportunity for sweeps and submission. They just stay square, keep your head by their head, square with the hips, and they'll stay in the guard and punch. Nothing crazy damaging, looks good to the refs, and you're kind of have to carry this guy's weight. So Merab's doing a great job here at keeping his hands inside. Sean's trying to use his butterflies again. Merab's got those big, heavy wrestling hips. And he's not putting his head so low to where Sean can't push off his face and elbow him. He's putting his head really high. There's not many guys that can do this besides Merab. Just sitting in the guard and just doing enough damage like that. Doing enough damage to where the ref's like, okay, he's still working. And he's not just putting his weight on him either. Look, watch his toes. His toes are driving off the canvas. driving all the weight into him. So he's not 154 pounds like he probably is. It's even more than that. Pushing off the mat, pushing all his weight into him, punching on the in-betweens, not punching so much where it gives Sean space. Doing a good job at just keeping his hands inside also. Keeping his hands inside, not putting his hands on the mat. And Sean's kind of getting frustrated here. So he's looking to just kind of create a scramble a bit. Merab's going head and arm choke. He's still got this knee shield. Going cross grip. Now we get to Merab's favorite position, which is on the fence behind the waist. Knee in the thigh. So Sean's elbow's inside here too. Right elbow's inside here. So right elbow inside, you can put a little bit more pressure on the grip. Again, easier said than done. The guy's been doing construction and wrestling his entire life. So this grip he has is really tight. And you think you're going to do a switch, you think you're going to do a Granby, you're going to think you do any of this, but when the grip is that tight, it makes it different. So he gets an underhook here, and he's almost up. He decides to pummel back in, go over under. He's almost up, but look at this. So he's got the over under position. He's got his shoulder beat. Look at how deep his hips are around Shugs. They're really deep. Sean would need to get that left leg untangled and drop his left shoulder. He's pretty beat here. He goes hips in. It's classic over under finish. Puts him back down. 120 left. 120 left. He's still working his way up. Tiring round. But trying to get up. Almost up again. Left elbow's in there. Takes it out. Does a nice scoop. Head outside. Scoops the ankle. Puts him back down to half guard. Half guard again. Sean's getting a little frustrated. And here, this is, I take blame for this. I should have had him more prepared. I saw him going for that high elbow in the first round. I should have had him more prepared, telling Sean to roll right now. Roll right now, right now, right now when he's going high elbow in this power guillotine. High elbow in these power guillotines like this, when your head's inside, you have to react to him right away. If you let them, especially a strong guy like Merab, if you let them sink into that puppy, there's no out. I've seen good wrestlers, really good wrestlers that aren't good at jiu-jitsu, tap good jiu-jitsu guys because they sink this in, they wait too long. There's really no escape. So he's squeezing the neck. Sean rolls a little bit too late, but his bite is so tight. He's still hitting the arteries. His bite is so tight. If I would have told Sean to roll a little bit earlier, right here, roll, boom, roll, start fighting the hands, he probably could have escaped it. And I take blame on that. I take blame on that. Because Sean did roll, but he rolled a little bit too late, and that was such a tight squeeze. Both arteries are getting hit, and there's just really no escape from that. And he ends up getting the tap. God! So many good things. I mean, this video is not about us, but so many good things that we did well. Defended shots. There was a couple punches that could have ended the night very easily. But again, you can't take it away from Merab. You can't take it away from him. I mean, you think on the feet he's just so hectic, but the guy has gotten a lot better. He's been in there with strikers like great strikers like Umar, like Peter Yan, Jose Aldo. I mean, Marlon Reyes. These are all good strikers. So he's really figuring it out, and he's getting a lot better on when to shoot, when not to shoot. When he gets on the ground, he's a real handful. A lot of people are counting Cory Sandhagen out. They're counting him out. Another skinny guy. But after hearing what Coach Trevor Whitman said, we're going to wrestle him, I'm like, I don't know what other game plan they would have, but again, I just don't know if that's the best answer. Is that the best answer? Is Cory going with fresh guys every round that are phenomenal wrestlers that aren't scared to shoot? Rumor has it they had 170ers, 155ers, 170ers going in with Merab fresh every round, and then Merab was breaking each person. The last person I seen to do that was someone like Benson Henderson back in the day when he was in his prime. He would get fresh, high-level guys and almost break every single person. Just freak show cardio. And what makes Merab scary right now is his win streak. His win streak is so big. And rumor has it, I know Merab shows up late to practice. He doesn't really warm up. He just kind of gets in there and gets it going. But I guess it's working. I guess it's working for him. Again, on paper, like smart-wise, top to bottom, Cory Sandhagen is one of the most well-rounded guys out there. But again, going against someone who's so special in one area, which is wrestling and cardio, I mean, 2 areas, it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a hard fight for Cory Sandhagen. There's ways for him to win. I know maybe they're thinking about once they get on bottom, trying to enter his legs into K-guard. But you saw here, Merab doesn't even give you space to do anything from your full guard. He doesn't give you space to lock up triangles, or doesn't give you space to go into a K-guard and enter the legs. He doesn't give you space for that. And as soon as you start reaching on the legs, you're going to fucking get a few juicers right to the lips. So, again, fighting, I've seen it so many times. You count someone out. Oh, man, there's no way they can win. And then they fucking win. You never know. You never know what's going on with these guys' fight camps either. You never know if Merab's injured going into this fight. You never know if Cory Sandhagen could have hurt a rib. You never know what they're dealing with. Or they're both 100%. Let's see what happens. We're going to find out UFC 320. Let's see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out more than you know. We're almost to 250,000 subs, and the content keep getting better. The rest of this year, we have a bunch of great stuff planned. So hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like and subscribe button. Comment your thoughts below. Love y'all. We'll see you next week. And you know what? One with the flute, since we got wartime. Wartime upon us. UFC 320. Love y'all. See you next week. Bye-bye.